everybody, welcome to my weekly sewing vlog where I just give you a quick little update on what I'm doing in my sewing life and sometimes in my regular life. So I hope you're doing great. We're having just a beautiful fall day here in the Vancouver area. It's sparkly sunshine and gorgeous, but it's a little bit chilly for my dog walk. I just got in from the dog walk and I had to wear my shacket over a turtleneck, right? You remember this shacket? I made this like maybe 3 years ago, I'm gonna guess, but it's still going strong. I love wearing it on a perfect fall day like this. So that's still going strong. And then I'm wearing it over that cashmere turtleneck that I upcycled a couple years ago, I guess. And this one, you remember, it was too small. And so I combined it with like a little lace crew neck, which was an odd little find that I thrifted, and made the sleeve bigger with the lace panel and the insets down the side. So yeah, this one's still going strong too. So, oh, and with a pair of jeans that I made about 3 years ago too. So all of these gray pieces are kind of fitting into the capsule wardrobe that I've been building for myself. But before I get into the capsule wardrobe update, look at my cozy corner now. It got even cozier, right? I've got 2 chairs here now because in the last vlog, you remember I told you that my husband and I bought this like monstrous love seat recliner thing because he's been having some back troubles, which is getting much better. And so we bought that crazy love seat. So there was no room in the living room anymore for these chairs, which actually fit the decor up there much better than the new love seat does. But whatever, his back is getting better, so that's nice. And I have to admit, I love it too. It's so comfy. But my cozy corner now is doubly cozy. So there's a chair for me and there's a chair for when a friend drops by. So you're more than welcome to join me here. So in the last vlog, I said that right after I was done filming the vlog, I was going to make the burgundy jacket that is part of the plan for my capsule wardrobe. I'm using the Diana pattern from dressmakingandmore.com, and I've been talking about this for like weeks now, right? I still haven't made it. I still have not made it, but I'm working on it. So in the last vlog, I told you that there was a bust dart in the pattern that doesn't show up on the technical drawing. And I don't know if it's in there in all the sizes. I haven't checked, but in the size 10 that I'm doing, there was the bust dart. And I don't want to do a bust dart in a knit, right? It's that heavy knit, and I think it would look not great. So I said I was going to do some dart manipulation. So I got that part done. So this is the front pattern piece, and this is where the original dart was. So I've closed it up and I put half into the armhole and half into the waistline. That worked out great, actually. It worked out really, really well. And I'll show the dart manipulation in the full tutorial that'll come out soon. And then I did get one step further. I wanted to test this out because of that change. And also I just wasn't sure about the fit in the waist. So I tested it out, even though I'm using a knit, I tested it out in a woven muslin because I want the jacket to fit even without having to stretch, around the waist. I don't want to have to stretch it. I did test it out in a muslin. And so I made this little mock-up. It actually takes like no time to put together a little muslin like this because you don't finish any of the seams. You don't even have to do the hems, although I did hem the body because I wanted to check the length when I was wearing it with the jade pants out of the same or similar fabric. So I was glad I did because I think I needed about 2 inches longer. The other thing that I did while I had the muslin on was like draw on the stripe. So in that fabric, there's a white line about every, I don't know, like 2 feet or so. And I wanted to make sure I placed that line in a good spot, but also could carry it around the sleeve and onto the back, like have it matched all the way around. So I drew it where I wanted it to go in the muslin. And then when I took it off, I like finalized my lines, made it follow the grain line so that it carried around to the back. And then I wanted to make sure that it looked balanced front and back, and it actually does. It actually looks super sharp to have that line going around. So now I'm finally ready to cut that fabric and sew that jacket. So I'm going to be doing that today for sure. And that's an important part of my capsule wardrobe. And so I need to get that together so that I'm ready for my trip because the capsule wardrobe is coming with me on my Toronto and Montreal trip. So that is definitely happening today. And then in that last vlog, another kind of creative problem that I was working out was a little project that I was going to do for a monthly challenge for my online community. And so for the online community, I've been giving them a monthly challenge. Now, I got to say, it's been so so fun having that online group. The group is growing. I think we're at 140 members now. And it's just lovely. Like for this monthly challenge, they're sort of posting their befores and encouraging each other and being so excited to see the final results. So that has been lovely. And you know what though? It makes my heart just sing that I'm able to get together, like online. We have a weekly call, get together with those people, but also bring them together. Like there's actually like a little meetup happening in Australia. There's a little meetup happening in Seattle. Like it's just amazing to me that people are getting together face to face and making new friends based on their love of sewing and upcycling and thrifting and fabric shopping. Like it's just been absolutely lovely. So anyway, in the first monthly challenge, the theme was the power of three. So in the last vlog, I was saying that I was going to take this zip up hoodie and put it together with these two crew neck sweaters that I like, but I never ever wear because I like to have layers that can come off. My thought was to put those together for my power of three challenge. But you know what? It just wasn't working because as I tried to put this on one side of the hoodie, you just get such a small amount of the graphic. It was just silly, even especially this one. If I just tried to put part of it, I was maybe going to get like one dot of the graphic. Like it was just goofy. So I'm not going to do this for the challenge. I'm going to put this hoodie aside for another day, another project with that. And then I'm just going to work with the two crew necks and actually put them together to make a zippered hoodie. So I think that's going to be actually more fun for me putting these two together. I bought a zipper, one of these heavy molded plastic zippers. This is not the one I'm going to use. This is my practice one because honestly, I avoid buying these unless I can get just the exact right length, because I hate shortening these, but I just couldn't get the right length. And so I thought, okay, well, I'll take that as a challenge and figure out a better way than I have been doing for shortening these plastic zippers. So I looked online and I found a way that I'd never seen before. And then I kind of worked on simplifying it. This is my practice zipper. So you can see like I've almost like destroyed the whole thing. And you can probably tell it involves fire. So I've been playing around with that. Yeah, I think I've almost perfected the technique where I'll be able to show you a nice, really slick way to shorten a plastic zipper that is easier than any method that I've tried before. That's going to be coming up. That'll be a fun project, but it doesn't fit the power of three challenge. So then I had to go back to my little box of things I want to upcycle, and I had a turtleneck and a skirt that were just fun and funky fabrics, and I had a plain black ribbing. So I put those together into a piece. Now, I know the black ribbing is not like really count as a third, but I did use it as well as a gusset in the sleeve to make the sleeve a little bit bigger. But the fun thing about this was the technique, because for this turtleneck, for example, when I want to make something bigger, one of the easiest and fastest ways you can do that is a panel on each side. I also put the panel on the sleeve because the sleeves were really tight on this turtleneck. So that's fine. That works great. And like I've done that a million times. And you know what? I was looking for a different way to make something bigger because I have done that a million times. So I thought, what if I can do a panel just down on one side, make it kind of a feature, but then doesn't that kind of make the whole thing fit weird if you're making the one side bigger? What about the other side? And then I realized that's easy. All you do is shift the center over. So can you see on this one that the original label is now off center? So that's what I think is kind of cool about this one. I'm excited to share that with you. And then once I kind of had that, then I realized, oh, that's actually easy. So this video is coming at some point, and it's a nice, easy one, a nice, easy way to make something bigger. And also in this one, I show a nice way of finishing off the neck and of putting that little gusset in the sleeve. So I think that's a good one. Also, in the last vlog, this jacket, this awesome bomber jacket with that incredible embroidery on it. I adore this jacket, but the video I told you in the last vlog had a big section of blurry footage. And so I said last week that I was going to probably take apart the collar just so I could refilm it. And then a few people commented and they said, no, don't worry, we'll get it. Like just show us on paper or do a mock-up of it or whatever. Like don't take apart your jacket. So that was very helpful and nice and kind of made me calm down a bit. But I'm kind of doing a combo. So I took out the top stitching around around the neck because it wasn't actually perfect anyway. It had a couple wobbles, so the top stitching around the neck is gone, and now I'll be able to just refilm a little bit and show you how that went together. So that shouldn't be too big of a fix, and I want to get that done today as well because that's definitely coming on the trip with me to Montreal-Toronto. So with my capsule wardrobe coming together for the trip, then I had to look at footwear. Like, what am I going to wear when I don't know what the weather's going to be like? It could be quite cold. It could be rainy. I don't know. And so I've got a couple like boots or booties that travel well. But then I have these Vivaya shoes. Like, I got these when I was working with Vivaya, and I just love them, but they're kind of crazy, right? And a little bit limiting in what you can wear them with this gray plaid, and it's got a bit of sparkle, which but they're so comfortable that I just walked the dog and wore these shoes. They're as comfortable as a sneaker. I love wearing them. So finally had the thought, why don't I go to my little local art supply store here and see if there's a fabric paint. This is just a fabric. If I could paint this black or maybe burgundy, I don't know. Probably black will be, I mean, burgundy could look amazing. That's actually quite tempting. I'll see what they have. But if I can paint the plaid part and then leave the gray, right, that would look super sharp. And so I've never painted shoes before. In fact, I've done very little fabric painting at all. So I'm going to go just talk to the people at my local art store and see what they have. But if you know of a product that I could use to paint fabric shoes, let me know in the comments. Like, or if you've ever done it. Like, this is brand new territory for me. I've never done this. If it works out well, then I'll put that into a little Wednesday mini extra video because I think that could be, for me at least, that could be a game changer, right? How fun is that? So we'll look to the future for those. Other things that I'm preparing for that trip. Remember I said I was going to make another hospital gown for my friend Esther, who I've mentioned several times now. And so I did. So I made the video where I made the hospital gown. This pattern is from Mood Fabrics, and I did a couple little adjustments, but basically straight up from that pattern. I put the ties on the back and down here, and it's just a fun like quilting cotton fabric with little stars. So that's for my friend Esther, who I will see on this trip as well. So that's ready to go. And then two more things I want to show you, also connected with getting ready for that trip. So that's this. Whenever I do a fashion trip, I like to make tote bags for the participants. Not make the bag, but use my Cricut to decorate it. These are the bags. This is spoiler alert for anybody on the trip. That's the bag for this trip. Catherine So Sustainable Fashion Tour of Montreal and Toronto with Open Doors Travel, who does all the planning and legwork for us for the trips. And each participant gets their name on it. Of course, I had to add in our beautiful maple leaf for this trip. So I made 15 of those, one for each participant and one for myself and one for Erica at Open Doors Travel because she works so hard on these trips as well. So 17 of those. So these all have to go in my suitcase, which is good though, because that is like an awesome placeholder in my suitcase because I know I'm going to be doing some thrifting and fabric shopping on that trip. So yeah, I'm excited. These are ready to go. My last thing I wanted to share with you is whenever you're doing work with Cricut, especially when you're doing it 17 times, not every one is going to turn out perfectly. Well, unless you're better at it than I am. But I always mess up one. So on the Italy trip, right, I made tote bags for everybody there. This one was for Jane, but I messed it up quite badly. And so I've got that. And what do you do with that, right? Like, I don't want to put it in the garbage and can't really donate it like that. And then for this trip, I messed up Kathleen's. The CN Tower got a little bit too skinny and there's sort of an outline around the maple leaf. What do I do with that? So I looked in my stash for just something fun to kind of cover up that whole yucky area and found a couple things. This tote bag, this is half a tote bag now, right? It had this London bus on both sides of the tote bag. So I used one side, I put it on the back of a denim jacket, which I love. I still wear that. And so I have this second one, and it actually, it just fits perfectly over my mistake. And I think that'll just be a no-brainer, right? That'll be a nice, easy fix to turn that into like a useful bag and a nice gift for somebody else along my travels. And then this one, I've had this little piece in my stash for like, I'm gonna say 30 years. I'm not even joking. Like, I'm sure I had this in Ontario before I moved to British Columbia. So that's 30 years ago. And in fact, I looked at using this piece when I did the denim jacket using that London bust. This was one of my options. And so now, though, right now it'll fit there. I can put that over my messed up Cricut area. Maybe I'll take a jeans pocket and put it on the back or do some kind of other embellishment, and we'll see if I can. Basically, all I want to do is turn what would be normally a piece of garbage into something useful, right? I don't want to just put this into a landfill, and I don't want to donate it with my name on it and a mistake, like that's not, I don't want that walking around, right? All right, so that's what I'm going to be trying to do and turning it into a nice gift for somebody else that I meet along my travels. Alrighty, so that's my week. That seems a bit busy, right? No wonder I never finish everything I say I'm going to do because that's a lot. But anyway, that'll keep me going, keep me into some fun creative projects. I hope you're finding some fun creative projects to do. I hope you're doing really, really well. And so I don't know if I'll see you this Wednesday with a mini extra. I did last week though, right? I did the making your jeans waist bigger. That was a game changer. That was a good one. But I don't know for this week if I'll get one together. You never know though. But otherwise, I will definitely see you on the weekend. The tutorial will be the dragon bomber jacket. I'll get that video fixed up and that'll be good for the weekend. So just before I wrap up, I'll just share that yes, my husband's back is getting better. We did do a beautiful dog walk yesterday in Vancouver in an area called Fraser View, I think, or River District. Maybe that's all one area, I don't know. But just a beautiful walk along the Fraser River there. So I'll share some pictures from that walk with you. So have a great week, and I'll see you on the weekend with the tutorial of the bomber jacket. So until then, you take care. Bye.